Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about power. Not the kind that comes from controlling others, but the kind that comes from within you. When dealing with a narcissist, they'll try to make you believe their game is unshakable. They'll convince you that their world revolves around your submission and their validation. But the truth is, their entire facade falls apart the moment you step away. This is why preparing yourself mentally for a transformation is necessary. It's like fresh grated pie. First, recognize this undeniable truth. Your worth does not depend on anyone's opinion but your own. A narcissist thrives on the cracks in your self-esteem. But when you start to see yourself clearly, when you stand tall and stop giving them the fuel they feed on, you take back your power. And trust me, there's nothing more regret-inducing than realizing they can no longer control you. In the history of the world, as we know, there has been no human being who has not regretted not deserving more. Second, master the silence. Let your absence be the loudest thing they hear. When you stop engaging, stop reacting, stop explaining yourself, you strip them of their favorite weapon. Suddenly, they're left alone with the echo of their own insecurities. Third, and this is where the magic happens, focus on you. Grow, glow, elevate. The moment you start to rise above the chaos, the narcissist begins to feel the sting of regret. They'll look at your success, your confidence, your peace, and realize they've lost something they can't replace. Second, slow down for the person you're speaking. Third, and this is where the magic happens. Third, and finally, don't let them pull you back in. A narcissist will always test the waters, try to manipulate their way back into your life. But when you remain unmoved, when you hold firm, you show them that their reign is over. At the very least, they'll be left with the feeling they've lost what little precious control they had over you in the first place. So how do you make a narcissist regret everything? You stop trying to make them regret it at all. Instead, you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. And as you rise, they'll realize their biggest mistake: underestimating you. How? Ladies and gentlemen, the power is yours. Reclaim it, use it, and never, ever let anyone take it away again. Self-respect is not just a virtue, it is the foundation of every meaningful decision, relationship, and success in life. It is the armor you wear when navigating a world that often tries to dictate your value. Understanding the power of self-respect is not a surface-level realization. It's a transformative journey that begins when you look inward, acknowledge your worth, and demand that the world reflect that understanding back to you. It's about defining yourself on your own terms and refusing to compromise your integrity no matter the pressures around you. At its core, self-respect is about recognizing your intrinsic value as a person. It's not tied to your achievements, your wealth, your relationships, or your status. Those things may enhance your life, but they do not define you. Self-respect means acknowledging that you are enough simply because you exist. You don't need anyone's approval to validate your worth. A narcissist or anyone else who thrives on diminishing others' sense of self-worth feeds on your insecurities. They latch onto the cracks in your self-protection and exploit them. But when you cultivate self-respect, those cracks begin to heal, and their control starts to wane. And finally, self-replication begins to enrich itself, and the self-replicating cycle begins again and again and again. Self-respect is also about setting boundaries, firm, unapologetic boundaries. It's about saying no without guilt, about walking away from situations and people who do not honor your dignity. For too long, many of us fall into the trap of people-pleasing, of bending over backward to accommodate others, often at the expense of our own well-being. But here's the truth. Every time you compromise your boundaries for the sake of someone else's comfort, you chip away at your self-respect. It's not selfish to put yourself first, it's essential. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and if you allow others to constantly take from you without replenishment, you'll find yourself drained, depleted, and disillusioned. When you truly understand the power of self-respect, you stop tolerating disrespect in any form. This doesn't mean you become combative or confrontational. It means you become resolute. If someone speaks to you in a demeaning way, you address it. If someone mistreats you, you remove yourself from the situation. You don't make excuses for bad behavior or convince yourself that you deserve less than what you know in your heart you are worth. A narcissist thrives on eroding this principle. They want you to doubt yourself, to believe that their validation is necessary for your self-worth. But the moment you see through that lie, you begin to reclaim your power. God wills. The blessedness of God comes to the person who is in love with himself. The general passage reads, "The blessedness of God comes to the person who is in love with himself." Another key aspect of self-respect is accountability. Respecting yourself means holding yourself accountable for your choices, your actions, and even your mistakes. It's about being honest with yourself, owning up to where you might have allowed others to take advantage of you, and committing to change. Accountability doesn't mean blaming yourself for others' behavior. It means recognizing your role in allowing certain patterns to persist and taking steps to break free from them. When you take responsibility for your life, you regain control. And when you are in control, no one else can dictate your narrative. Self-respect also manifests in how you treat yourself. It's not just about what you demand from others, but what you give to yourself. Are you kind to yourself? Do you speak to yourself with compassion? Or do you berate yourself for your perceived flaws and failures? Cultivating self-respect means nurturing a positive relationship with yourself. It means prioritizing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It's in the little things: eating nourishing food, getting enough rest, pursuing your passions, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift you rather than tear you down. One of the most profound effects of self-respect is the confidence it breeds. When you respect yourself, you carry yourself differently. You walk into a room with your head held high, knowing you have nothing to prove. You make decisions with clarity and conviction because you trust yourself. This confidence is magnetic. It draws the right people into your life and repels those who seek to exploit your insecurities. A narcissist, who depends on the fragility of their targets, finds it increasingly difficult to manipulate someone who exudes self-assurance. Understanding the power of self-respect also means acknowledging that it is a continuous process. Life will test you. There will be moments when your resolve is challenged, when the opinions of others threaten to shake your foundation. But every time you choose to honor yourself, every time you choose to prioritize your well-being over someone else's approval, you strengthen your self-respect. Over time, it becomes second nature, a part of who you are, unshakable and unwavering. In relationships, self-respect sets the standard for how others treat you. It communicates that you value yourself and expect the same from those around you. When you respect yourself, you attract partners, friends, and colleagues who share that value. You no longer settle for less than you deserve because you know your worth. And when someone tries to undermine you, you recognize it for what it is and refuse to engage. Self-respect is a quiet strength. It doesn't need to announce itself or seek validation. It simply exists, a steady and unyielding force that anchors you in a world that often tries to pull you off balance. When you fully embrace it, you become unstoppable. End of Part 2, Chapter 23. Recommendation. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of power. It has the capacity to disarm, to protect, and to communicate far more effectively than any outburst of words ever could. Mastering the art of silence is not just about holding your tongue. It's about learning to channel your energy, refusing to react impulsively, and leveraging quiet strength to assert control in any situation. Especially when dealing with manipulative individuals such as narcissists, silence can become your most formidable weapon. At its core, silence is about control. Control over your words, emotions, and energy. In a world that often glorifies loudness, confrontation, and constant communication, choosing silence is a revolutionary act. It is a conscious decision to not allow others to dictate your responses or pull you into their chaos. Narcissists, in particular, thrive on reactions. They bait you with provocations, seeking to draw out your emotions so they can maintain their hold over you. But when you respond with silence, you deny them that satisfaction. You disrupt their strategy. you take back the reins. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength. It says, I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't need to defend myself against your accusations or manipulations. This form of quiet confidence is deeply unsettling to a narcissist or anyone who thrives on conflict. They expect you to engage, to plead, to argue. When you don't, it throws them off balance. They're left grasping at straws, unable to maintain their illusion of control. Silence also allows you to preserve your energy. Words have weight, and every word you speak carries a piece of your emotional and mental energy with it. Engaging in endless arguments, explanations, or justifications drains you, leaving you depleted and vulnerable. But when you choose silence, you conserve that energy. You redirect it toward yourself, toward healing, growth, and self-improvement. Over time, this becomes a habit, a form of self-care that shields you from unnecessary stress and turmoil. Mastering the art of silence also requires mastering your emotions. It's not easy to stay silent in the face of provocation, especially when someone is attacking your character or pushing your buttons. But this is where silence becomes a form of discipline. It teaches you to pause, to breathe, to resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead of lashing out, you reflect. You consider your options. You decide whether the situation even warrants a response, or often than not, you'll find that it doesn't. There's a misconception that silence means passivity, that staying quiet means allowing others to walk all over you. But true silence is anything but passive. It is a deliberate choice, a form of active resistance that communicates strength and self-control. It's about picking your battles, refusing to engage in unnecessary conflict, and maintaining your composure in situations designed to provoke you. In this way, silence becomes a form of power, a way to assert your dominance without uttering a single word. Silence is also a tool for observation. When you're not focused on formulating your next argument or defending yourself, you're free to listen, to observe, and to analyze. You gain insight into the other person's motives, weaknesses, and insecurities. This knowledge becomes your advantage, allowing you to navigate the situation with clarity and precision. A narcissist, for example, often reveals their vulnerabilities through their need for control and validation. By staying silent, you give them the space to expose themselves, all while maintaining your composure. Silence can also create an uncomfortable void for the other person. Humans are inherently uncomfortable with silence, especially during conflict. When you stay quiet, you force the other person to fill the space. They may stumble over their words, reveal their insecurities, or even second-guess their actions. In this way, your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their behavior back at them and making them confront the reality of their actions. Blame not yourself, said the tablet. Another aspect of mastering the art of silence is knowing when to walk away. Silence doesn't always mean staying in the room and refusing to speak. Sometimes, the most powerful form of silence is your absence. Removing yourself from toxic situations or relationships sends a clear message. I value my peace more than this conflict. This kind of silence speaks volumes. It communicates that you will not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mistreatment. And because it leaves no room for argument or negotiation, it's a boundary that cannot be crossed. Silence is not just about withholding words. It's about controlling the narrative. When you don't respond to accusations, gossip, or provocations, you take away the other person's ability to twist your words or use them against you. You remain an enigma, untouchable and unshaken. This kind of silence is a form of self-preservation, a way to protect your truth and your peace. Mastering the art of silence takes practice and patience. It's a skill that requires you to unlearn the instinct to react and replace it with the habit of reflection. It's about choosing your words and your battles wisely, understanding that not every comment deserves a response and not every fight is worth your energy. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, transforming silence from a tool into a way of being. It becomes a reflection of your inner strength, a testament to your self-respect, and a shield against the chaos of the world around you. Elevating yourself is about striving to become the best version of who you are. It's a journey of growth, self-discovery, and relentless improvement that transforms not only how you see yourself, but also how the world sees and interacts with you. Elevation is not simply about external success. It's about internal fulfillment, aligning your actions with your values, and stepping into the life you deserve. To elevate yourself is to rise above mediocrity, challenges, and even the expectations that others may have placed upon you. It's about defining your own path and committing to walking it unapologetically. The first step in elevating yourself is embracing the mindset of growth. Elevation begins in the mind, with the belief that you are capable of more and deserving of better. This doesn't mean ignoring your current reality. It means acknowledging where you are while also recognizing the potential of where you can go. A growth mindset requires you to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and grow. It shifts your focus from what's holding you back to what's propelling you forward. Every failure becomes a stepping stone, every setback a chance to recalibrate. Self-discipline is a cornerstone of elevation. You cannot rise without a consistent commitment to your goals, even when the journey gets tough. Discipline is waking up early to work on your dreams, saying no to distractions, and prioritizing what truly matters. It's about doing the hard things when no one is watching, knowing that the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. Elevation requires sacrifice, sacrificing comfort for progress, instant gratification for long-term success, and familiarity for growth. The truth is, taking risks and challenging status quo is the name of the game in business. Elevating yourself also involves investing in your personal development. This means feeding your mind, body, and soul with the right resources. Read books that challenge your thinking and expand your horizons. Seek out mentors who can guide and inspire you. Take courses, attend workshops, and never stop learning. Education isn't just about formal schooling. It's about a lifelong commitment to acquiring knowledge and skills that move you closer to your goals. Every new skill you master, every piece of knowledge you acquire, adds another brick to the foundation of the elevated life you're building. Equally important is taking care of your physical and mental health. Elevation isn't sustainable if your foundation is shaky. Prioritize exercise, nutrition, and rest to ensure your body has the strength and energy to support your ambitions. At the same time, cultivate mental resilience by practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and self-awareness. Elevating yourself requires a balanced approach, where physical vitality and mental clarity work in harmony to propel you forward. Your environment plays a crucial role in your ability to elevate yourself. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, who support your growth and celebrate your successes. Distance yourself from negativity, toxicity, and relationships that drain your energy. The people you allow into your life should reflect the elevated standards you're striving for. At the same time, curate your physical environment to align with your goals. Whether it's your workspace, your home, or the places you frequent, ensure that your surroundings encourage focus, productivity, and peace. Another vital aspect of elevating yourself is setting clear goals and taking intentional action to achieve them. Ambition without direction is like a ship without a compass. It may move, but it won't reach its destination. Define what elevation means to you. Is it financial freedom, a fulfilling career, stronger relationships, better health? Whatever your vision, break it down into actionable steps and tackle them one by one. Celebrate small victories along the way as they build momentum and remind you that progress is being made. Confidence is both a result and a driver of elevation. As you grow, achieve, and overcome challenges, you naturally begin to carry yourself differently. This confidence in turn opens new doors and attracts new opportunities. But confidence isn't just about external validation. It's about believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's about trusting your instincts, taking risks, and knowing that you have what it takes to rise. Confidence is quiet and steady, a reflection of the work you've done and the self-respect you've cultivated. Elevating yourself also requires emotional intelligence. As you grow, you'll encounter new challenges and relationships that demand a deeper understanding of yourself and others. Emotional intelligence allows you to navigate these complexities with grace and wisdom. It's about managing your emotions, communicating effectively, and building connections that enrich your life. Elevation isn't just about climbing higher, It's about building bridges and lifting others along the way. Elevation isn't just about climbing higher. It's about building bridges and lifting others along the way. One of the most transformative aspects of elevation is the shift in your self-perception. As you grow, you begin to see yourself not as you were, but as you are becoming. You stop defining yourself by past mistakes or limitations and start seeing yourself through the lens of possibility. This shift in perspective fuels your drive, reminding you that you are not bound by the circumstances of your past. Stabilize, then. Imagine your future, the better for your drive, cultivating everything that you are. Elevating yourself is also about contribution. True elevation isn't just about personal success. It's about using your growth to make a positive impact on the world around you. Whether it's through mentoring others, giving back to your community, or sharing your story, contributing to something greater than yourself adds depth and meaning to your journey. It reminds you that elevation is not just about reaching the top, but about what you do with your view once you get there. When you focus on elevating yourself, you naturally outgrow the limitations, negativity, and doubts that once held you back. Elevation is about rising above circumstances, expectations, and even your own fears. It's about realizing that the power to transform your life has always been within you, waiting to be unleashed. When you elevate to the higher vibrations, you create a higher frequency, which responds to the higher vibrations of others. And when you wait to be unleashed, staying unmoved by the games of others, especially those of manipulative individuals like narcissists, is both an art and a discipline. It requires a deep sense of self-awareness, emotional resilience, and the ability to detach from provocations designed to unsettle you. A narcissist's games are rooted in control. They thrive on eliciting reactions, creating confusion, and feeding off the emotional chaos they provoke. But when you remain steady, calm, and unshaken in the face of their manipulations, you not only protect your peace, but also dismantle their power over you. Looking higher, there is no lower bound. It's the circle of the universe. To stay unmoved by their games, the first step is recognizing the tactics being used against you. Narcissists often employ a variety of strategies to manipulate others, including gaslighting, triangulation, and blame shifting. They may try to make you doubt your perceptions, pit people against one another, or shift the responsibility for their actions onto you. By understanding these tactics, you gain the clarity to see their games for what they are, a means to maintain control. Awareness is the foundation of resilience. When you know the playbook, you're less likely to fall for the tricks. Equally important is detaching emotionally from their actions. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means learning not to internalize their behavior. Narcissists often project their insecurities and inadequacies onto others. When they criticize, belittle, or blame you, it's rarely a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of their own unresolved issues. Staying unmoved requires reminding yourself of this truth. Their words and actions lose their sting when you refuse to take them personally. Building emotional resilience is key to maintaining your composure. This involves developing the capacity to regulate your emotions, even in the face of provocation. A narcissist may push every button, testing your patience and boundaries, but your strength lies in your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Emotional resilience doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them, processing them, and choosing how to act. It's about mastering the pause, the space between stimulus and response, where you gain control and decide how to proceed. End quote. End quote. This goes from being a life-changing book for me to be truly inspirational. Boundaries are another critical aspect of staying unmoved. A narcissist's games often rely on overstepping your limits, whether it's demanding your time, invading your personal space, or disregarding your feelings. Clear, firm boundaries serve as a shield, protecting you from their manipulation. These boundaries must be non-negotiable, and enforcing them requires consistency. It's not enough to set limits, you must also uphold them, even when met with resistance or backlash. Each time you reinforce a boundary, you send a clear message: their games will not be tolerated. One of the most powerful tools in staying unmoved is practicing indifference. This doesn't mean you don't care about the situation, it means you choose not to engage with their attempts to provoke you. Narcissists thrive on reactions, whether it's anger, frustration, or even tears. By remaining indifferent, you rob them of the emotional fuel they seek. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather refusing to let them see your vulnerability. Indifference is not about apathy, it's about control over yourself and the situation. Self-confidence is another cornerstone of staying unmoved. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, the games of others hold little power over you. Narcissists often prey on insecurities, using them as leverage to manipulate and control. But when you know your value, their attempts to undermine you fall flat. Confidence acts as an armor, deflecting their attacks and reinforcing your resilience. It reminds you that you don't need their approval or validation to feel whole. Perspective is crucial in maintaining your composure. A narcissist's games are often rooted in trivial or petty matters, blown out of proportion to create drama or confusion. By stepping back and viewing the situation objectively, you can separate what truly matters from the noise. Perspective allows you to see the bigger picture, to recognize that their games are temporary and insignificant in the grand scheme of your life. It helps you prioritize your peace over their chaos. Practicing mindfulness can also strengthen your ability to stay unmoved. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feelings without being consumed by them. When you're mindful, you can observe their games without getting drawn into them. You can acknowledge their behavior without reacting impulsively. Mindfulness creates a sense of inner calm, a refuge you can return to even in the midst of turmoil. The thing is, another important aspect of staying unmoved is focusing on your goals and values. Narcissists often try to derail you, diverting your attention from what truly matters. By staying focused on your priorities, you remain grounded. Their games lose their allure when you're fully committed to your own path. Every time you choose to focus on your growth, your aspirations, and your well-being, you take another step away from their influence. Finally, staying unmoved by their games requires patience. It's not always easy to maintain your composure, especially when their tactics are persistent or particularly cruel. But patience is a form of strength. It's the ability to endure without breaking, to remain steady in the face of provocation. Over time, your consistency in staying unmoved sends a clear message. Their games have no power here.